Hey everyone, this is Chase at Rocky Mountain HVMC giving you a closer look at the SE4 Composite helmet from Troy Lee Designs. All right, today we're giving you a closer look at the SE4 Composite helmet coming from Troy Lee Designs. So a few years ago, Troy Lee Designs came out with their new SE4 Carbon helmet. Very cool, innovative helmet. They now have the SE4 Composite, which is gonna be the baby brother to it. So price point on this, you can be about $450, which will save you about $200 from the SE4 Carbon. But there are two major differences, one of them being the shell construction, the other that we're gonna talk more about here in just a minute. But before we get there, let's just talk about fit real quick. So I actually own one of their SE4 Carbon helmets, which is gonna be the exact same fitment as the Composite. Fitment's gonna be true to size. You have 3 different shell sizes within the lineup. Very comfortable helmet, also very lightweight. I'll talk about weight here in just a moment. But remember, this is an apparel item and this goes for any helmet that we sell at Rocky Mountain. If you get it, if you're not happy with the size or fit, send it back in brand new unused condition. It's called our fit guarantee, which means you get free shipping both ways on your first exchange. So with the SE4 Composite, like I just mentioned, 3 different shell sizes. Here's one of the major differences between this and the SE4 Carbon. It's gonna be in their shell construction. So with the Composite, you're gonna have a blend. It's gonna be 90% fiberglass, 5% Kevlar, and 5% carbon. So being mostly fiberglass, it is gonna add just a little bit of weight to the helmet. That's one of the trade-offs that you're making here, but it's really not that much. A size large, I weighed it myself, 3.1 pounds. So it's still a very lightweight helmet. So if you can live with a few extra ounces of weight, well, you can save some money here. That's what I like about this helmet. You're gonna be about $450, saving about $200 from the SE4 Carbon. But the other big difference that is very important to know, I'll give you a little 360 view here. By the way, I love the look of this helmet. Troy Lee Designs always has some really cool colorways that they have. But when you look at the back here, you're gonna be a DOT certified. The SE4 Carbon is gonna be Snell certified also. So I know with Snell certification, some riders look for that in a helmet. For others, it's not a deal breaker. But if you're not familiar with Snell, the Snell Foundation's a nonprofit organization that does helmet standards or safety standards for helmets. But having your helmet be Snell certified, it costs extra money. So the Composite's not gonna be Snell certified, but again, that's how they're saving you some of that cost and bringing that price point down on this helmet. So those are 2 differences. The shell construction adds just a little bit of weight, and you're not gonna be Snell certified with the Composite. But overall, again, rock solid helmet. So when it comes to venting on this, they did not skimp. You're gonna have 20 intakes to get as much airflow coming through this helmet as possible. There's actually 9 intakes or channels that are cut into the EPS line, and we'll show you those here when we take the helmet apart. But you have 9 intakes going through the helmet, and then you're gonna have 6 exhaust vents in the rear. So you're taking all that warm air coming through those vents in the chin bar, up above the eye port area, taking it and it's gonna push it out the back. So overall, that's something that I feel this helmet does extremely well, is with that venting, because like I said, I've spent time in this helmet. They did a good job with that. Another feature I wanna point out that might be important for some people to know, I like the interface on the top of the helmet here. You can see it's pretty flat on top. Some helmets aren't real friendly when it comes to mounts for an action camera. If you rock a GoPro, Troy Lee Designs has a great relationship with them. Makes a very good mounting surface for a GoPro or really just any action camera. So if you like to run one of those, definitely something that I would consider. Now your visor, it's gonna be adjustable. You've got 3 screws that hold it on. So you can see you've got this screw right here in the center. If I loosen this, do that real quick, then I can actually push the visor forward. So you can see you've got quite a bit of adjustability, which I like. And then also the screws on this, you're gonna have plastic screws, but you have brass inserts. So the purpose for those screws is that in the event of a crash, obviously you wanna reduce as much angular rotation or prevent the helmet from snagging as much as possible. So those screws are designed to shear away when enough force is applied, just to have that visor break off. Another cool fact about the SE4 Composite, you get an extra visor that comes included with the helmet. So if you do break yours, you're not out that money, you have a replacement one right inside the box. So that's the outside of the helmet. Let's take a look at the inside. So first thing you'll notice, you do have emergency pull tabs here on the cheek pads. These are nice, helps get the cheek pads out a little bit easier in the event that you do have a crash, you need to get the helmet off as safely as possible. So the way these work, you're just gonna grab here, you're gonna pull forward and down, and they pop right out pretty easily. So, nice to have those in there. Pop out my other one here. So with those out again, these are gonna be washable. They're 3D contour cheek pads, very comfortable liner that they use. So if these get hot and sweaty, throw it in the washer machine, wash it, dry it, put it back in the helmet, and you are good to go. So there's your cheek pads. Let's grab our liner here real quick. Some snaps holding that in. So there is your comfort liner. You can see lots of cutouts in that liner. Again, that's gonna promote airflow. Now, one other difference too I want to point out with the carbon version, the D-ring is going to be titanium. Again, just going to help save a little bit of weight. But looking at the inside, you've got that EPS liner. Like I mentioned earlier, you've got all those channels that are cut into that liner. That's going to go in conjunction with those intakes you have on the outside to push air through the helmet. But there's a couple big safety features on the inside that I really like. The first, you've got the MIPS liner system. That stands for Multi-Directional Impact Protection System. This is a feature that we see in a lot of premium helmets. And what it does, it creates a slip zone inside the helmet. So in the event of a crash, you got to remember, not all crashes are straight up and down. In most cases, you're going to be going in a direction either forward or back or side to side. So what this allows you to do is create a slip zone so that the rider's head can rotate just a little bit inside the helmet. And by being able to do that, it helps mitigate those rotational forces to the rider's head. So it's a cool safety feature, again, that we've seen in a lot of different helmets. And then going along with that, when we talk about the EPS liner, so EPS stands for expanded polystyrene. But what Troy Lee did that's pretty different is that they actually have multiple pieces that make up the EPS liner inside the helmet, and the pieces are different densities. So they put the densities, or the correct density, where they felt it was needed the most, again, to help absorb the most amount of energy depending on where it was placed inside the helmet. So multiple piece density EPS liner. Also, what they did is they added some extra EPS in the front of the helmet to help absorb even more energy. A lot of impacts are right to the front of the eye port here. And actually, when they built the SE4 Carbon, they said that they had about 13% more EPS in the front than the next closest competitor. And they also added some of that EPS liner down here at the bottom of the neck roll. You can see that's where you've got that vent down at the bottom, but here they call it the occipital area. So they added more EPS down here at the bottom of that as well. And also, what's cool is that if you look at the inside of the chin bar here, they're not using EPS. This is actually EPP, that's expanded polypropylene. And the reason that they use it there is EPS, when it crushes, it doesn't retain its shape. It doesn't return back. So when it comes to any helmet, if you have a bad crash, you want to inspect the EPS liner to make sure there's no visible damage, that you actually did compress that EPS, because if it did, it's not going to absorb as much energy the next time that you have a hit to your head. So it's very important, always inspect your helmet after a crash. But EPP, this does retain its shape. So if you're walking around, you're carrying the helmet by your fingers, or maybe you're hanging on your handlebars when you're not riding, you're not gonna have to worry about this compressing and not returning to its shape. So it still has great energy absorption, but it retains its shape. Now you're also gonna notice you have this little sticker up here on the top that says eject approved design. So this helmet can take the helmet eject removal system. Does not come included, but we do sell it at Rocky Mountain. And what it's designed to do, think of it as like an airbag or a little inflatable balloon inside the helmet. So it goes between the EPS liner and your comfort liner. And what happens that if a first responder needs to get your helmet off, they actually pump it up full of air, and it will just help push the helmet off the rider's head a little bit easier. So definitely a big safety feature. Again, you can just install that right here. Very simple to do. You do not have to modify the helmet to run that system. And that is it. That is the SE4 Composite helmet coming from Troy Lee Designs. Again, the baby brother to the SE4 Carbon. Two major differences: shell construction, and you're not going to be Snell certified. If you can live without those two, well, then you can save yourself about $200 and get a very good helmet. If you guys have any other questions or comments, leave those below. We'll get your questions answered. And to pick yours up, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is just click on the link or head over to RockyMountainATVMC.com. Do not forget, orders over $75 ship free. If you guys like this product spotlight, you want to see more just like it, well, do not miss out. Get subscribed to our YouTube channel, because we got a whole lot more, along with a lot of great how-to videos, product spotlights, and buyer's guides, everything that you need to get rocking and rolling. I am Chase. We'll see you on the trails.